The U.S. President Donald Trump and Democratic nominee Joe Biden are doubling down in key battleground states to reel in the last swing voters. There's just a day to go until the much-anticipated U.S. presidential election. More than 92 million U.S. citizens have already cast their votes. Professor Daryl Glaser from Wits University joins me now via Skype. And, Prof, that last-minute stampede to the key swing states by both candidates says a lot, doesn't it? Joe Biden in Philadelphia and the President Donald Trump hitting 5 states in one day. That says a lot about what's at stake in this election.
Yes, I mean, the thing about the United States is that it isn't simply one electoral unit where the winner of the popular vote wins the election. It's a state-by-state contest. Most states are foregone conclusions that they're going to go one way or the other. There are a small number of swing states, and they are being absolutely massively contested. Some of those Midwestern states that the Democrats assumed were in their pocket last time, but they lost to Trump. Biden is campaigning very fiercely there. They're also because the Republicans have been losing ground in the so-called Sunbelt states of the United States, there are a larger number of swing states this time than last time. So the candidates have got to move around very energetically in about 10 or so states, trying to make sure that they get the electoral college votes of those states.
Yeah. What, in your view, will swing this particular election? Is it the issue of the handling of the coronavirus, on which, you know, the difference between Trump's approach and Joe Biden's preferred approach is basically chalk and cheese? Or will it be about other issues? For instance, this whole narrative that President Trump has sought to drive, that basically Joe Biden is a proxy of the extreme left who basically want to swing America in that particular direction. What will be the issue that wins the day?
Yeah, well, each candidate's going to try and play to their strengths. And basically, Donald Trump decided to bank on a law and order campaign, basically promising to restore order to an America that's been disrupted by massive protests around racial justice, also rising crime. And obviously, it's in the Democrats' interest to draw attention to the pretty poor, some would say scandalous way in which Donald Trump has handled the coronavirus epidemic. Let's remember that America is a very polarized country. The vast majority of the country had already decided long ago which way they were going to vote. And just like you've got swing states, a small number of swing states, you've got a small number of swing voters. And the odd thing is that Trump has not really gone out of his way to appeal to the center or to moderates. His strategy has really been to energize his base, to make sure they turn out to vote. Whereas Biden has attempted to appeal to a kind of an idea of unity. And by the way, one of the key priorities of the Republicans has in fact been to try and reduce the number of voters, because the higher the turnout, the better the Democrats are likely to do. And so that's why you've seen a great deal of controversy around early voting, mail-in voting, and Republicans attempting to block those avenues of voting to reduce turnout, which, as I say, high turnout would be expected to favor Democrats.
Yeah, and that's certainly going to continue to be an issue of controversy as we speak. The Supreme Court allowing some states to actually count those votes that do arrive even after the day of voting on the 3rd, which is an issue that is set to be an issue of some significant controversy. Lastly, Prof, talk to me about to what extent should people be paying attention to what the polling is saying, right? Joe Biden ran away in terms of the polling numbers, but we've been here before. The pundits got it wrong in 2016. Why should anyone believe the polls this time around?
Yeah, look, I mean, there's always uncertainty about the polls, and the Democrats got themselves very badly burnt in 2016. Everybody remembers how Trump, who was simply not meant to win, managed to swing a few swing states in the Midwest and win the election. What I will say is that Biden's lead is both larger and more steady than the lead that Hillary Clinton had in 2016. So if in fact Trump wins, which is not impossible, it would be an even bigger disaster for the polling industry than 2016 was, because the polls, as you're implying, are pretty predictably and comfortably anticipating a Biden victory.
Yeah, it will be interesting to watch. Thank you so much for your insights there. Professor Daryl Glaser from the Department of Political Studies at Wits University. It's just hours away, really, before we find out which direction, which path will America choose for the next 4 years.